Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How are we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and today we're going to do a very brief overview of the Sanctuary, where to put your Blessing of Orbis, and why. We're not going to go too in-depth on each of the mechanics of everything. That's for another video, but in general, just where to put things, what to use, and why you end up using them. So to start things off with, we've got Sanctuary here, bottom of my screen. Depending on what home screen you're on, I think it might change a little bit. Sometimes it's by Araminta's face in the top left, but mine's down here right now. And just for a throwback, I've actually done a video like this a long time ago, and I think it's essentially the exact same as multiple years ago. So this is something you kind of just do once and leave it the way it is. That said, this video is sponsored by Epic 7 as well, so in the link description down there below, you can get Epic 7 for free on Android and iOS. Try it out. Fantastic game, especially right now with all the K-pop shenanigans going on, aespa. We just got Ning Ning, and we're getting more soon, and I'm very excited for that. Perfect time to start playing. Welcome all the new players and everything too. It's so much fun getting these questions asked again, because new players, these are things you need to know, but right now it's so overloaded with everything else. Don't worry, we got you. So let's get into this. So first off, we've got 5 different areas here, and let's just talk about the basis of the Sanctuary. The bases are these Breath of Orbises here. You find these throughout the scenario. Basically just do the story, do the PvE side of story, and you will get these in the first couple areas. You'll get them just from stages. You'll see this little icon on the screen. You go do that stage, you get some Breath of Orbis, and you can use it here to upgrade. In future areas, you can buy them from AP exchange shops for the location you're in, and you'll just get them. So don't worry too much about where to get them and how. Just know that you play the game and clear the stages, and you will get them that way. We then have 5 brief areas here. Let's just go over them really quick. Forest of Souls is a place that lets you upgrade your heroes, your units a lot easier. You can make penguins here, which are for experience. You can make phantasms, which are also for promotion. High Command is just a place to send your heroes out to get some extra stuff, like some extra accessory charms or some equipment charms or stuff like that. Heart of Orbis is passive income generation. Alchemist Steeple is a way to change things into other things, and Steel Workshop is where you craft all your gear. So let's go top left first into the Forest of Soul, and we're gonna go through where to put your points. So actually, to start things off, we're gonna go in Heart of Orbis, because this is the one I personally just ignore, because it's too much manual effort for me to get enough back, which means I have to be logged into the game too much and have to keep coming back to this too much and drop what I'm doing to be able to take advantage of it. So from this screen here, you have a couple things. First, let's go take a look at improved building. This is where you're going to see how all of them work and what they do. And we have the middle one here, which allows you to generate gold and skystones per hour. And skystones per hour sounds like a really good thing, but if you add up how much you get and how active you have to get, it's just not worth it for me personally. But if you really need those skystones, you're gonna want something like this too, but not for me. We then have the Crate of Life here, and this allows you to store more, which means you can stay AFK longer and take longer to come get them. And then we have the one on the right, which is the one that makes me want to use this again because it's super fun. Basically, it gives you a 5% chance, and if we hit preview here, we can see that at level 1, 20%, 35%, and then 50% chance to get double the rewards, which is super fun for me. Anytime I click that, I get doubled. I'm always happy. But I had to forgo this for other reasons. Let's take a look at Forest of Souls now. This is one I think we need at 333. Maybe it's especially amplified by me being a content creator, but being able to make spirit wells here, or spirit phantasms, which help promote your units, penguins, which help promote experience for your units, and Mulagora, which you need for every unit basically, is just invaluable to me. Specifically as well, with the upgrades here, we can see you even have a chance for epic penguins, which turn into, let's see if I can find them here, these 3 here. So we've got the base, newbie, experience, and then the epic penguin. You can actually transfer your epic penguins here for transmit stones and gold. So they're a very important part of getting your transmit stones up, especially if you don't summon a lot. We also have 2 other things here, which basically gives you more of stuff and makes it cost less. So this is a theme throughout the Breath of Orbis and all sorts of areas in your sanctuary. These upgrades usually end up just giving you more and costing you less. So that's why I have them 3 out of 3, and we have the growth altar, which we can make 10 at once as well. And don't ever do stuff like this unless you have this, because the 15% reduction is just massive. Same with this here. So just make sure you have this max if you're going to use it actively. You don't really need those things. It doesn't really matter too much, but I find most people do. And also the currency of choice here is going to be stigma to craft all of those things. Next up, we have the High Command, and this is one I actually just changed after redoing this because I realized I was doing it inefficiently and wasn't really thinking about it. So what this place does is you send your units out on adventures basically, and they bring stuff back for you, but don't worry, you can still use your units if they're being sent out here. There are 4 sections. 1 is gold, 1 is stigma, 1 is ancient coins, and 1 is going to be conquest point. To me, the only 2 even worthwhile at all are going to be conquest points and ancient coins. And then it's a matter of how long you want to send your missions out. There's 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, all the way up to 12 hours. And I find anything less than 8 hours is too inconvenient for me. And I think the higher you go, the less efficient it gets in terms of resources per hour you get back. But having them every 8 hours is so much less annoying than having them every 2 hours, because it always pops up on your home screen whenever they're ready. You just click send out, but that's 2 extra clicks all the time when you really want to just get somewhere else. Maybe it's just me that's bothered by that, and you're okay sending them out for 2 hours, but 8 hours is for me. That's what I use, especially if you want to be really efficient and you send them out for 2 hours. They're done, depending on how much you sleep, pretty soon into your sleep. So I went with 313 here. This is enough to unlock 8 hours and 8 hours. I did not do the 12-hour one specifically because for the war mission, you need 3 in the middle blue one, which I don't have, and I don't have the resources for. And I'd rather have them both at 8 hours instead of 1 at 8 and 12. So both of these super important. You get equipment charms from conquest points as well as gear, and you get accessory charms from ancient coins. Both of these you pretty much need an extra influx of these to keep upgrades going. Finally, we have the Steel Workshop here. This one is just where you craft all your gear, and all the improvements here are required. Basically, they just give you better things. 12% chance of an epic here, reduced costs of gold, and then reduce resources as well over here. So these are necessities for doing this. And if we take a look at the Steel Workshop, we have 3 options. One is crafting. This is where you use your hunt resources you find to craft gear. So for example, if you want to craft wyvern gear, the speed, crit, and hit, you're going to need abyss bone drakes. I would not use anything lower than the 85 gear. We'll talk about why in a second, unless you absolutely desperately have to. But you can craft here, and when you're crafting 10 at once, the craft reduction and resource reduction is massive. You absolutely need to have these before you craft. We also have mileage, which was added recently, and we can see here how many points we get for level 85 stuff. And to do an epic craft, I have 56 of them because I don't have enough charms right now. But you can choose which side to do. I personally do left side gear for epic crafts. You can choose to set hit craft. Hopefully you get a speed substat. You don't, so you cry a little bit. Yeah, and that's it for the crafting there. And of course, you've got all the different hunts. We then have reforging. This is another step where you upgrade your best pieces of gear to get reforged materials. You're going to be doing expedition. I don't want to get too deep into this because this is just focused on what to get here, not why, or how to specifically get all the materials for the things, if that makes sense. But you can just reforge your best pieces of gear here, turns them from 85 to 90, gives them more stats. You can see left to right stat here. And this is something you're absolutely needing to do for any high-level PvE or even PvP. Not even PvP. PvP especially, and even PvE as well. You get extra speed, you get extra everything. Next up, we have the crafting event. This isn't always on. I've actually done videos guiding you on the best pieces of gear for this, but in general, I choose right side speed or penetration sets here with substats you can choose. So if you want more information on this, it's on my YouTube. Maybe I'll leave a link in the comment down there below of how to do this in quotes correctly. This isn't always here. I don't even think it's benefited by this. It just happens to be there. It's in a separate event. Finally, I think I said finally for the other one too, we have Alchemist Steeple, and this is basically where you convert things into other things, hence alchemy. And we have improvements here, and these are all required as well. They just make things easier, better, and cost less, right? So we have less gold required here, increases the quality here, and we can allow them to craft certain things here. So all of those 333 absolutely required here. And just to go over the options really quick, we have charm, and this you can throw in gear and get yourself extra charms here. And the most important part about all of this we'll go into in a second. We then have crafting materials, and the reason why I said you shouldn't be using your lower crafting materials for gear, because not only is 70 gear not really worth it anymore, it's also expensive to upgrade in comparison to something you're keeping a long time. So if we have lower farmed wyvern gear or hunts, like if we farmed 8 or 9 for wyvern hunts, we can instead go to Abyss Straight Claw here, which is the level 85 stuff, hit craft, and you can toss in your previous wyvern hunt stuff and it will turn into the new stuff. So make sure that bar is full on the bottom left as well. And there you go, we now have the 85 stuff to craft. So make sure you're doing that if you're running out of materials. It's really good for helping you get the stuff up as well if you can't realistically hunt, do the higher hunts easy. We then have equipment conversion, and this is another one that is absolutely so useful for gear. Basically, you get these little equipment conversion gems. Depending on which one you get, you can put it in different slots. If you convert your gear as well, again, not gonna show how in this guide, but you can choose which set to do. So for example, we have these here, and if it's really important to note the bottom left here, we've got this little quality grade. So if we put 31 of them, we only have it as a normal rarity. If we put all the way up to 56 of these ones specifically, it says epic. You cannot craft these unless it says that epic, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. So let's just craft a attack one here, going for HP, defense, speed, and attack as my preferred substats here. And it shows you what rates it are. It is there. And yeah, so if we didn't have that bar full, this would not be epic, and you would be very, very, very sad. We then have catalyst conversion. This is what I use regularly to get my rare catalyst. Basically, you can do it once per day. And I have 0 of these, so you can throw in 7 to get 3 or 4 back. I always forget how much. I think it's 4, right? Yeah, 4 back from that if you have the bar full in the bottom left, and only do this once per day. And obviously, you're trading 7 for 4. It's not the best ratio. It's a pretty bad ratio, actually. But it's good to fit in catalysts you don't have right off the bat. We then have exclusive equipment. And I actually did a video on Hall of Trials recently as well. And this is where you just perfect that equipment. So if we take a look here, let's who do I want to do here? Let's do Kawazu, because I was just messing around with Kawazu. What we can do here is throw in a bunch of these here, and then once we hit the epic quality, we're able to choose which one of these 3 it is, and it will also come out as the max stat. So if we click on this here, 14 attack, this goes all the way down to 7 attacks. So with this maxed at epic, you'll be guaranteed to have the one you want, and also have 14% max stat there. So don't do this without having everything maxed as well. Finally, we have modification gem conversions. Basically, you can extract some of your gems, get some materials here, and craft them into ones you want instead. So for example, if you really don't want Unity set, you can get rid of those and put them into speed sets instead. So yeah, that's everything in the Sanctuary here. I hope this really helped you out. If not, let me know in the comments what I can help you with, and I'm here for you. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.